Welcome to Corrections Mama 27 channel. So I'm going to do 3 short stories about weapons and accidents that happened with officers, handling weapons. One officer was training at the range, and I guess if you're going to do something, this story actually, this story is a different story, but it's happened more than once. But the particular one I'm talking about was at the range when they were actually training and requalifying for the weapons, which we have to do once a year. So there was an officer at the range, and he shot himself in the foot. Was trying to pull his gun out of the holster with his finger on the trigger. Do not do that. Do not put your finger on the trigger unless you're shooting at a target. A target could be a target or a person or anything that you want to shoot. But don't ever have your finger on the trigger unless you're going to shoot something. So I guess when he does that, they just curl that finger. And then when they put pressure on it, only takes a couple pounds of pressure to pull that trigger back. And that's not very much. And he shot himself in the foot. So here comes the ambulance. There goes the ICS, Incident Command System. How embarrassing for that guy. So, yeah. And then another guy shot himself in the hand. I'm guessing when you're trying to unload it, you got your finger on the trigger like, really? Get your finger off the trigger. It cannot. Even he knows, right? He heard me thump on my hand on the table and started barking. Jack, do you want to say hi since you want to be in the video? Say hi. Okay. So anyway, yeah, you don't unload a weapon either with your finger on the trigger. And you never put your hand in front of the muzzle of the gun, or like this, trying to, I don't know, maybe we was doing that to pull the slide back. It's not how you pull slide back. It's not. I'm going to do a gun safety video one of these days. It's on my list, but it's going to need to be done outside. And so, yeah. And I might need a couple people to help me with that video, volunteers. So anyway, yeah, I don't know how that happens. Okay, then another accident that happened on the range during training was a personal friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine, and he actually, they have targets with wood stands, and they go in these pipes that are pounded into the ground, and the targets just slip in there. There are targets that you just tape up your target, and then there's targets that have like pictures of people, a pregnant lady, I remember, a bad guy pointing a gun at you, and you basically walk up on him blindly, and then they tell you, okay, face your target, and then you face it, and then you decide. You have to make a split-second decision whether to shoot or not. But anyway, in handling those targets, he got a splinter in his hand. And the splinter caused a really bad infection. He got flesh-eating bacteria from that. What? Yeah. So I'll call him Salver. Salver got a flesh-eating bacteria infection, and he said he noticed he had a splinter, and he pulled it out or whatever, and that his hand felt like a burning sensation. And then he started to feel sick. That they were cleaning up, putting everything away. So it was towards the very end of training. And sometimes if you don't have a lot of people to qualify, they don't even have 8 hours to do it, 6 hours. So they tell you go to your unit and finish out your shift. So he went to called his supervisor and says, hey, I just finished range and I'm not feeling very good. Do I need to still show up at the unit? Can I just go home? And they told him, no, come to the unit. So he went to the unit and he just felt worse and worse and worse. And then he started feeling a little delusional. Like he was really this happens in a 2-hour period. From the time the splinter gets in his hand to finishing up, cleaning up, being released, getting his weapons card, and then going to the unit. Then he started feeling sick. He wasn't thinking right. He went to the unit. He got his radio and keys. And he just started walking around in random, like a circle on the track, on the rec yard. And he wasn't very coherent. And somebody found him, and a supervisor was like, oh, yeah, something's not right. So they took him to the hospital, and he had flesh-eating bacteria. Like it was already eating his hand. By the time he got to the hospital, his hand was red and inflamed, and they had to give him tests and stuff and find out what was going on, and then they had to treat him. He could have lost his hand or his arm over those dirty targets. Like, most of us don't think much of it, just put the targets away, pick them up, put them away. There are splinters on them, so you do have to be kind of careful. But who would have thought he got flesh-eating bacteria in his hand and could have died, could have lost his hand or his arm from a target. Like, scary, right? So that's what happened. That's what happened. And he's okay now. He has a scar where it goes all the way up his arm and stuff. He's got a big old scar on his arm where they had to, take skin off and do skin grafts and stuff. Like, it was really bad. So, shout out to my buddy. I'm glad you were okay. And they should have let you go home. But maybe if you didn't go home, you wouldn't have gone to the hospital as soon as you did. Who knows? Anyway, I'm glad that he was okay. So, thanks for listening. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button and the comment and share the video. Thank you.